There is something happening inside the body of a person who walks fewer than 4,000 steps a day. Something that is happening right now, this very moment, that they cannot feel and have not been told about. Something that has nothing to do with how much they weigh, what they ate yesterday, or how they look in the mirror. It is happening inside their cells, inside their blood vessels, inside the cleaning systems of their brain. And it is the direct consequence of something your body was specifically designed to do and is now being denied. Your body was not built to be sedentary. It was built to walk. For approximately 200,000 years of human evolution, the average person walked between 8 and 12 miles every single day simply by existing. They walked to find food. They walked to reach water. They walked to gather, to hunt, to migrate, to survive. Walking was not exercise, it was the background condition of being alive. Your entire biology, your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic drainage, your brain's clearance mechanisms, your insulin response, your mood regulation chemistry, your bone density maintenance. Every one of these systems was designed by evolution to operate within the context of a body that walks consistently throughout the day. And then, in roughly the last 100 years, a fraction of a second in evolutionary time, almost everything about that changed. We built cars, we built elevators, we built chairs designed for working at desks. We built lifestyles that allow a person to wake up, sit in a car, sit at a desk, sit in another car, and sit on a couch accumulating fewer than 3,000 steps in a full day of activity. Your body did not change. Your environment did. And the consequences of that gap between what your biology expects and what your modern life provides are not minor. They are not aesthetic. They are not optional. Equals. They are quietly, consistently, and measurably destructive. Most people are walking somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 steps a day without realizing it. They feel normal. They do not feel sick. They are not aware that anything specific is going wrong. But inside their body, in dozens of measurable ways, systems that were designed to be active are sitting idle, and the silence inside those systems is producing consequences that will show up later as disease. Stay with me, because what I am about to explain is some of the most important biology you will ever hear about your own body, and almost nobody is told it clearly. The first system that suffers when you do not walk is the one you cannot see and never feel your blood after meals. Every time you eat, your blood becomes temporarily flooded with fats and sugars from that meal. This is normal. This is the system working as designed. But what happens next depends entirely on what your body does in the hours immediately after eating. If your body moves, if your muscles begin working, contracting, demanding fuel, those circulating fats and sugars get pulled out of the bloodstream and used as energy. Your blood clears. Your insulin response stays gentle. Your blood vessels stay healthy. If your body does not move, if you eat and sit 3 or 4 times a day, those fats and sugars circulate in your blood at elevated levels for hours. Your blood vessels are bathed in inflammatory compounds. The lining of your arteries, the endothelium, becomes irritated. Repeated daily, this is the foundational process that builds the plaques that eventually cause heart attacks and strokes. This is not happening because of one bad meal. It is happening because of one bad pattern repeated thousands of times. Eat, sit, eat, sit. The body that was designed to walk after eating is being asked instead to stay still while the consequences accumulate. Walking even 10 to 15 minutes after a meal completely transforms this pattern. Your muscles begin absorbing glucose directly from your bloodstream, bypassing the insulin pathway, reducing the post-meal blood sugar spike, and clearing the circulating fats your blood vessels were about to be exposed to for hours. Have you ever noticed how heavy and sleepy you feel after a large meal when you sit immediately afterward, and how different it feels when you take even a short walk? That difference you are feeling is the difference between a body whose systems are running and a body whose systems are stalled. Tell me in the comments if you have noticed this in yourself. If you enjoy understanding the quiet science happening inside your body, subscribe. If this is already making something click for you, tap the like button so more people find it. The second system that suffers when you do not walk is one most people have never heard of: your brain's cleaning system. Your brain produces metabolic waste continuously. Just like every other organ in your body, the cells in your brain generate waste byproducts as they function. In every other organ, Waste is cleared through the bloodstream and processed by the kidneys and liver. But your brain is sealed off from the rest of your circulation by the blood-brain barrier. It cannot use the same cleanup system. It needs its own. This system is called the glymphatic system, and it was only fully characterized by science in 2012. That is why most people, even most doctors, were not taught about it. Your brain has its own internal cleaning network that flushes cerebrospinal fluid through brain tissue, washing out metabolic waste and depositing it for clearance. And here's the part that matters. The glymphatic system is significantly more active when you are moving, particularly when you are walking. The rhythmic, gentle, sustained motion of walking pumps cerebrospinal fluid through your brain in a way that sustained sitting does not. And among the waste that this system clears is beta amyloid, the same sticky protein that accumulates in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. Research has now linked sedentary lifestyles directly to increased accumulation of beta amyloid in brain tissue. Conversely, regular walking has been associated with a measurable 50% reduction in dementia risk in large population studies. Read that again. Walking, not medication, not a supplement. Walking. When you do not walk, your brain does not get cleaned as effectively. The waste accumulates. The consequence shows up not next week or next year, but in the decade that follows. Walking also produces a compound your brain genuinely depends on for its long-term health, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF has been called miracle grow for the brain because it does exactly what that name suggests. It supports the growth of new brain cells, protects existing brain cells from damage, and strengthens the connections between neurons that underlie learning and memory. BDNF production rises significantly with sustained moderate movement. It falls in sedentary individuals. Over a lifetime, this difference compounds into measurable differences in cognitive function, memory retention, and resilience against neurodegenerative disease. Now move down from the brain to the heart, because here, the data is even more striking. A UK study tracked over 70,000 people for 7 years, measuring their daily step counts against their long-term cardiovascular outcomes. People walking around 9,800 to 10,500 steps daily had a 39% lower risk of dying early from any cause. They had a 21% lower risk of having a heart attack or stroke. Their risk of heart disease was 25% lower than people walking only 2,000 steps a day. These are not lifestyle tips. These are two completely different futures, separated by a single behavior repeated daily. The mechanism behind this is straightforward. Walking is one of the most effective ways to maintain endothelial function, the health of the inner lining of your blood vessels. Walking improves blood pressure regulation, raises HDL cholesterol, lowers LDL cholesterol, reduces inflammatory markers throughout the body, and maintains the responsiveness of your cardiovascular system to the demands of daily life. A sedentary cardiovascular system does not maintain these capacities. It loses them quietly, gradually, over years. By the time someone has their first cardiac event, the underlying disease has often been developing silently for 2 decades. The lymphatic system, your body's drainage and immune circulation network, has no internal pump. Unlike your blood, which is moved by the heart, your lymph fluid is moved only by the contraction of muscles and the action of breathing. When you do not walk, your lymphatic system stagnates. Immune cells do not circulate as effectively. Inflammatory waste accumulates in tissue rather than being drained. Your immune function quietly degrades. Walking restarts this entire system. The rhythmic muscle contractions of your legs are the primary mechanism that pushes lymph fluid upward through your body for processing. A body that walks every day has a lymphatic system that drains. A body that sits has a lymphatic system that stalls. Now let me tell you what happens to a body that begins walking 10,000 steps consistently and how to actually reach that number without disrupting your life. In the first week, your body responds immediately, even though you cannot feel most of it. Your post-meal blood sugar curve flattens. Your insulin sensitivity improves measurably within days. Your mood begins shifting because walking directly raises serotonin and dopamine, the same chemicals that antidepressant medications attempt to influence. Without medication, without side effects, without cost. You may feel mild soreness in the first few days. This is not damage. This is your cellular machinery upgrading. The mitochondria inside your muscle cells are responding to the new demand by multiplying, increasing the number of energy-producing structures in your tissues. This is the same adaptation that makes athletes, and your body begins it within days of consistent walking. By the second week, the deeper changes begin running. Your brain's glymphatic system is running more efficiently every night. BDNF production rises. Your cardiovascular system is adapting, your resting heart rate begins dropping, your blood pressure begins normalizing, your blood vessel lining is healing rather than accumulating damage. By the third and fourth week, the changes start showing up where you can observe them. Clinical research tracking people on 10,000-step programs has consistently shown lower body weight, smaller waist measurements, and reduced body fat percentages over 12 weeks, with no dietary changes required. Here is the specific number that explains why. Before starting a consistent walking habit, the average sedentary adult burns approximately 470 calories per day through movement. After 30 days of consistent 10,000-step walking, that number rises to 650 calories or more per day. And this is not just the calories burned during the walks themselves. This is the increased baseline rate at which your body burns calories around the clock, during work, during television, during sleep. Walking has tuned your cellular machinery. Your resting metabolism has increased. Your body now burns more fat continuously, not just during exercise. The mood transformation by week 3 is specific and measurable. Researchers studying mood changes in walkers have documented something they call vigor, raw energy, mental sharpness, the felt sense of wanting to engage with the world. This increases 15 to 20% with consistent walking. Simultaneously, depression scores, anxiety scores, anger, and confusion all measurably decrease. Your sleep deepens by week 3. Your hunger hormones ghrelin and leptin stabilize, which means you stop having random food cravings late at night and stop feeling hungry an hour after eating. Hunger becomes signal, not noise. By the end of week 4, the cumulative cancer protection becomes relevant. A major Lancet meta-analysis confirmed that pushing toward 10,000 steps specifically reduces the risk of 13 different types of cancer, not 1, 13. Walking does not target a single disease. It upgrades the systems your body uses to defend against all disease. If 10,000 steps were a pill, it would be the most expensive medication ever developed. Instead, it is free. The only cost is the time to take the steps. And the only barrier is the belief that you need to set aside an hour for it. You do not. This is the most important practical point in this entire video. 10,000 steps is not a workout. It is a collection of small movements distributed throughout your day. The walk to the kitchen, the loop around your home before sitting down, the longer route to the bathroom at work, the detour to the far end of the parking lot. None of these feel like exercise. All of them count. There is a specific term for this in exercise research: incidental exercise. The accumulated low-intensity movement that fills your day without ever feeling like a dedicated session. People who hit 10,000 steps consistently are almost never doing it through a single hour-long walk. They are doing it through dozens of small choices that each add a few hundred steps. The single most powerful change you can make is walking during phone calls. Almost no phone call you have ever taken in your life actually required you to be sitting. Put in headphones. Stand up. Walk. A 4 or 5 minute call can deliver 4,500 steps, nearly half your daily target, during time you would have spent sitting regardless. After meals, walk for 10 to 15 minutes. This single habit alone may be the most metabolically powerful thing you can do all day. The post-meal walk activates the glucose-clearing pathway in your muscles and prevents the blood vessel damage that sedentary eating causes. On days when you cannot get outside, walk inside. Pace your hallway. Walk on the spot during television. Walk around your home during conversations. The steps count regardless of where they happen. The people who reach 30 days of consistent walking are not the ones who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who found a way on the difficult days too. Here is what I want you to hold from everything in this video. Your body did not evolve to sit, it evolved to walk. Every system inside you, your cardiovascular system, your brain's cleaning network, your lymphatic drainage, your metabolic flexibility, your mood regulation, Your immune function was designed to operate within the background condition of regular walking. When that condition is removed, the systems do not stop working immediately. They degrade quietly. They underperform invisibly. They accumulate the conditions for disease without ever sending a signal you can feel. Walking is not optional for a body like yours. It is the missing input. Even 2,200 steps a day measurably reduces your risk of dying early. But 10,000 is where every one of these systems comes fully online, where your body is operating in the state it was designed for. What surprised you most in this video? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. If you enjoy discovering the quiet science happening inside your body, subscribe for more. New videos every week. In the next video, we will explore something even more fascinating: what happens inside your brain in the first 20 minutes of walking, minute by minute, and why those specific minutes may be the most important part of your entire day. Your body is not failing you. It has been waiting for the right information. Now you have it.